You've seen her do it. Someone new comes to the door, and your dog, your sweet, tail wagging, loves the whole world dog, goes quiet. The tail drops. She plants herself a little in front of you, or she leans into your leg, and she watches that person in a way she never watches anyone else. And some part of you thinks it, even if you'd never say it out loud. She knows something about them that I don't. Here's the thing. She probably does. Dogs really can tell with a startling amount of accuracy when a person isn't safe. And the science on how she does it is real and specific and far more interesting than the mystical version you've heard. She's not psychic. She's doing something better than psychic. And I'm going to walk you through exactly what that is. I'll be honest with you the whole way down, including the places where the research is messier than the internet pretends, because there is a lot of confident nonsense about dogs sensing evil. And you deserve the real answer. By the end, you'll understand the three things your dog is actually reading off a stranger. And the last one, the study that proves it, will change how you feel every time she steps between you and someone new. Let's start with the one people find hardest to believe. She can smell it. Fear has a scent. When a person is stressed, nervous, or hiding aggression, their body quietly changes. The sweat shifts, the chemistry shifts, and it carries in the air. We can't detect it. Your dog lives in it. A dog's sense of smell is something on the order of tens of thousands of times more sensitive than ours, and researchers have tested this directly. In one study, dogs were exposed to the sweat of frightened people versus calm people, and the dogs who smelled fear became more stressed themselves and more wary. They were reading an emotional state straight out of the air, with no other clue to go on. So when someone walks in carrying tension, anger they're swallowing, nerves they're hiding, something off they think no one can see, your dog gets it as a smell before that person says a single word. She is, in the most literal sense, smelling how a person really feels underneath the face they're showing you. And that brings us to the second thing. Because she isn't only using her nose, your dog is one of the finest readers of human body language on the planet. She had to be. Dogs spent tens of thousands of years evolving right alongside us. And the ones who survived were the ones who could read us. A shift in posture, a stare held a half second too long, a stiffness in the shoulders, a hand that moves wrong. Studies have shown dogs are exquisitely tuned to human eye contact and facial expression, more than almost any other animal. So the micro signals you consciously miss, the ones your own gut only registers as a vague something's off about him, your dog is seeing in high definition. A too fixed stare, a body that's angled to loom, movements that are just slightly too fast or too controlled. To you, it's a feeling you can't name. To her, it's plain information written all over that person's body. Now, before we go further, I promised you honesty. So here it is. She is not reading their soul. She's not judging whether they're a good or bad human in the way we mean it. And the research isn't all one clean story. When scientists have tried to test whether dogs form lasting reputations of people as good or bad, the results have actually been mixed. Some studies found it, some didn't. So I'm not going to tell you your dog looks at a stranger and sees their whole moral character. What I'm telling you is narrower and honestly more useful. Your dog is a near perfect detector of how a person is behaving and how that person is making the two of you feel right now in this room. And here's the part most people never realize. A lot of the time, she isn't just reading them, she's reading you. Dogs do something researchers call social referencing. When your dog isn't sure about a new person or a strange situation, she looks to you, to your face, your body, your voice, to decide whether to relax or worry. One study found that the large majority of dogs faced with something uncertain will glance back at their owner to check. So when a person makes you tense, even in a way you're trying to hide, your dog catches it off of you and mirrors it right back. Your quiet unease becomes her open suspicion. In a strange way, she's turning your own gut feeling up to a volume you can finally hear. So put those three together. She smells the stress a person is hiding. She sees the body language you miss. And she reads your own hidden reaction and amplifies it. That's not magic. That's a living instrument built over thousands of years to detect exactly one thing: threat to the people she loves. Which brings us to the study I promised you. The one that the first time I read it genuinely stopped me. Researchers set up a simple little play. A dog watched as its owner struggled to open a container and turned to a stranger for help. In one version, the stranger actively refused, turned away, wouldn't help their person. In another, the stranger was neutral or kind. Then, afterward, both strangers offered the dog a treat. And the dogs who had watched a stranger be rude to their owner were far more likely to refuse that stranger's treat. They snubbed them. They turned down free food from the person who had been unkind to the one they loved. Sit with that for a second. Your dog will watch how someone treats you. And then, given the choice between a snack and loyalty to you, a lot of dogs choose you. She keeps a ledger and she settles it in your favor. So, what is your dog really doing when she goes still and steps in front of you as a stranger walks in? She isn't sensing evil. She's doing something far more loyal than that. She's smelling the fear a person is hiding, reading the body you can't read, feeling the unease coming off of you, and remembering how people treat the person she has decided to belong to. And when all of it adds up to something she doesn't like, she doesn't weigh the cost. She just quietly puts herself between you and it. She is not a mind reader. She is a bodyguard who happens to also be a lie detector for how people make you feel. And she is always, without a moment's hesitation, on your side. So the next time someone new comes in and she goes quiet and she leans her weight into your leg, pay attention. She isn't being unfriendly. She's telling you something in the only way she has. And it's worth listening to because more often than the world gives her credit for, she's right. I'd love to hear it. Tell me down in the comments, has your dog ever taken a strong dislike to someone and were they right in the end? I read every single one, and I promise you the stories on this one are something else. And if this gave you a new way of seeing the dog watching the door for you, share it with the one person you know whose dog is quietly guarding them too. Take care of her. She's already taking care of you. I'll see you in the next one.